Don't forget to subscribe!
I'll reintroduce myself. I am Xiaomei. I am the narrator of the story you're hearing.
This video is for the people who used Windows 98 back in the day.
And so the grand adventure continues. I hope we're able to meet again in the near future.
Hiya, this is Hachan Madobe, and I'm Sechan Madobe, and this is our video of Windows 98's long anniversary for 20 years, and why it's the best Microsoft OS in the 90s with Windows 95. Is everybody ready? Let's do this! With that out of the way, I'll go first. Following the success of Windows 95, development of Windows 98 began, initially under the development codename Memphis. In the first test version, Windows Memphis Developer Release was released in January 1997. Memphis first entered beta as Windows Memphis Beta 1, released on the 30th of June 1997. It was followed by Windows 98 Beta 2, which dropped the Memphis name and was released in July. Microsoft had planned a full release of Windows 98 for the first quarter of 1998, along with a Microsoft Windows 98 upgrade pack for Windows 95, but it also had a similar upgrade for Windows 3.x operating systems planned for the second quarter. Stacy Brave-Fogel, a product manager for Microsoft, explained that the later release for the upgrade for Windows 3 was because of the upgrade required more testing than that for Windows 95 due to the presence of more compatibility issues. Without user objections, Microsoft merged the two upgrade packs into one and set it for all of their release dates to the second quarter. On the 15th of December, Microsoft released Windows 98 Beta 3. It was the first build to be able to upgrade from Windows 3.1x and introduce new startup and shutdown sounds. Near its completion, Windows 98 was released as Windows 98 Release Candidate on April 3rd, 1998, which expired on the last day of the year, December 31st. This coincided with a notable press demonstration at Comdex that month. Microsoft CEO Bill Gates was highlighting the operation system ease of use and support for plug-and-play. However, when presentation assistant Chris Capossela plugged a USB scanner in, the operating system crashed, displaying a blue screen of death. Take a look at this video.
Let's plug it in. It's going to say, hey, I see you put in a new device. And it's going to load in the appropriate drivers. You'll notice that this scanner built
Well, nobody's perfect. But either way, Bill Gates remarked after the derisive applause and cheering from the audience, that must be why we're not shipping Windows 98 yet. And you might have seen that video footage of this event became a popular internet phenomenon. Microsoft had quietly marketed the operating system as a tune-up to Windows 95. It was complied as Windows 98 on the 11th of May, 1998, before being fully released to manufacturing on May 15. The company was facing pending legal action for allowing free downloads of and planning to ship Windows licenses with Internet Explorer 4.0 as an alleged effort to expand its software monopoly. Microsoft's critics believed the lawsuit would further delay Windows 98's public release, but it did not, and the operating system was released in June 25, 1998. A second major edition of the operating system called Windows 98 Second Edition was later unveiled in March 1999. Sechan will get to that later. Microsoft compiled the final build on April 23, 1999, before being publicly released on May 5, 1999. Windows 98 was said to be the final product in the Windows 9X line until Microsoft briefly revived the line to release Windows Me in 2000 as the final Windows 9X product before the introduction of Windows XP in 2001, which was based on the Windows NT architecture and kernel used in Windows 2000. There has been new and updated features for Windows 98, such as web integration and shell enhancements. which are themes and other features from Microsoft Plus for Windows 95, such as Drive Space 3, Compression Agent, Dial-Up Networking Server, Dial-Up Scripting Tool, and Task Scheduler. 3D Pinball Space Cadet is also on the CD-ROM, but not installed by default. Windows 98 had its own separately purchasable Plus pack called Plus 98. And there's been title bars of windows and dialog boxes supporting 2 color gradients, a feature ported and refined from Microsoft Office 95. And Windows menus and tooltips support slide animation. And in Windows Explorer and Windows 98, as in Windows 95, converts all uppercase file names to sentence case for readability purposes. However, it also provides an option to allow all uppercase names to display them in their original case. Windows Explorer includes support for compressed CAV files. The quick resolution and telephony location manager Windows 95 Power Toys are integrated into the core operating system. And there's also been improvements to hardware support, such as the Windows driver model. And there's also other device support improvements, such as USB hubs, USB scanners, and imaging classing devices. And it introduced built-in support for some USB human interface device class, and PID class services used, such as USB mice, keyboards, force feedback joysticks, etc., including additional keyboard functions through a certain number of consumer page HID controls. And there's also some networking enhancements. And to be honest, Windows 98 networking enhancements to TCP/IP include built-in support for WinSock 2, SMB signing, and new ID Helper API, automatic private IP addressing, and IP multicasting, and performance enhancements for high-speed bandwidth networks. Multi-homing support with TCP/IP is improved and includes RIP listener support. And there's been some performance involvements which have become a huge improvement to the system, as well as built-in utilities. And the accessories include the Microsoft Magnifier, Accessibility Wizard, and Microsoft Active Accessibility 11.1 API, and the new HTML help system with 15 troubleshooting wizards was introduced to replace WinHelp. And users can configure the font and notepad. Microsoft Paint supports GIF transparency. Hyperterminal supports a TCP/IP connection method, which allows it to be used as a telnet client. Imaging for Windows is updated. System Monitor, used to track the performance of hardware and software, supports output to a log file. Other improvements include Telephony API 2.1, DCOM version 1.2, ability to list fonts by similarly determining using Panos information, tools to automate setup such as Bot98 and InfInst.x, and support error checking, gathering information automatically to create an INF file directly from a machine's registry, customizing IE4, shell and desktop settings, and adding custom drivers. Several other resource kit tools are included in the Windows 98 CD. Windows 98 has new system event sounds for low battery alarm and critical battery alarm. Windows 98 has also introduced new and updated system sounds. The new startup sound for Windows 98, as you heard in the beginning, was composed by Microsoft sound engineer Ken Kato, who's considered to be a tough act to follow. Windows 98 shipped with Flash Player and Shockwave Player pre-installed.
Oh, it's my turn now?
Okay. Windows 98 Second Edition is an updated version of Windows 98, released May 5th, 1999, 9 months before the release of Windows 2000. It includes many bug fixes, improved WDM audio, and modern modem support, improved USB support, the replacement of Internet Explorer 4.0 with Internet Explorer 5.0, web folders, and related shell updates. Also included is basic OHCI complement fireware DVD camcorder support, and SBT2 support for mass storage class devices. Wig Online re-enables suspended network computers due to network activity, and internet connection sharing allows multiple network client computers to share an internet connection via a single host computer. Other features in this update include DirectX 6.1, which include major improvements to direct sound and the introduction of direct music. Improvements to add Sechan US transfer mode support. Windows Media Player 6.1 replacing the old Media Player. Microsoft NetMeeting 3.0, MDAC 2.1, and WMI. A memory overflow was resolved in the earlier versions of Windows 98 would crash most systems if left running for 49.7 days, equal to 232 milliseconds. Windows 98's second edition could be obtained as a retail upgrade of full version packages, as well as OEM and a second edition update disc for existing Windows 98 users. USB audio device class support is present from Windows 98 second edition onwards. Windows 98 second edition improved WDM support in general for all devices, and it introduced support for WDM for modems. However, Microsoft driver support for both USB printers and USB massive storage device class is not available for Windows 98, and it did not ship with the WinG API or Real Player 4.0, unlike the original release of Windows 98. Both of these do have it being superseded by DirectX and Windows Media Player, respectively. And we've had some upgradability for newer versions. It's actually kind of cool, isn't it? It's amazing. Not bad, Sechan. Either way, the support lifecycle eventually had done its best. And, to be honest, it was planned to end in 2003. However, in December 2002, Microsoft extended the support window to January 16, 2004, and then extended once again to 30th of June in 2006. Up till a final end of support date on the 11th of July, 2006. Although it was gone, it's never gonna be forgotten. And, now that's out of the way, let's get on to some info for me and Sechan. To be honest, two early designs that continue to be used alongside the 98 and 98 as Hachan's, which are us, are a pair of stick-limb snack boxes with the base and version drawn in crayon, based on the Vulcan 300 toy that appeared in the anime Zatch Bell. This is a holdover from the early days before the designs of us had settled. Generic stick-limb boxes were often used as placeholders, and there has been instances of the small DOS and Windows 3.11 boxes before other designs gained popularity. Yeah, we both make use of these mechanical suits. And, as you have noticed, Hachan's matchbox is blue bicolor, while mine is like a ocean green in color. And, yeah, the Mech are sometimes seen as guardians or friends to us, otherwise we can be seated in them as pilots. The box sizes can vary, ranging from doll-like when carried by us to taller than an adult when we ride inside them. While usually used as toys or weapons, they can serve other purposes, such as a clubhouse, a shelter, or even a place to hide. It's actually just kind of fun, though. Now that you have seen the video on Windows 98, we really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. What do you think? If you appreciate it, please be sure to super smash that like button, and be sure to follow my social media platforms in the description below, and Team Lifelight's fandom channels. Please be sure to leave a comment below, and please give us your open-minded thoughts, because we here at Team Lifelight's fandoms do not condone harassment, violence, or trolls allowed, or otherwise, Ren Hoek from Comedy Central's The Ren and Stimpy Show will haunt you down till the ends of the Shadow Realm. Please be sure to subscribe to our videos and click the notification bell. You'll never miss a video the second it goes live on YouTube and Google. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!